Hello guys, this is Mr. Wishahi, and today we're going to do a tutorial and a little bit of practice on exponents. For this lesson you're going to need your blank Frayer notes, and if you want you can go ahead and write exponents there in the center. You're going to need a calculator, and then you will also need your exponents practice sheet, and we'll get to the practice sheet later towards the lesson. So if at any point you need to pause and go back to any parts of this lesson, or if you just need to pause to kind of catch up, feel free to do so. Alright, so this lesson we're going to talk about exponents, what they are, what they mean, and how you could use them in math. So I'm going to go ahead and write an example right here in the... Here you see a big 2 and a smaller 3 towards the top. I want you to start thinking, what does that mean? What is this asking me to do? Okay, some students who are new to exponents, they think, well, this is 2 times 3, or 2 multiplied to 3. Well, and actually, this means 2 times 2, a total of 3 times. The reason I wrote down 3 2's is because my exponent tells me that I'm going to multiply 2 3 times, and 2 will be my base. So what exponents are, really they're just a way to show repeated multiplication. Here it told me to repeat multiplying 2 a total of 3 times. Okay, so I want to make sure you understand what exponents are. So let's go into some of the facts and characteristics of exponents. So I've got my 2 to the 3rd power. So this larger number that we see, that's going to be our base number. And then the smaller number right here, that's our exponent. So this exponent, it tells me how many times you see the base. Okay, or it's also the power. So in this case you can say 2 to the 3rd power. Other times you may see exponents is if you're talking about area. So 5, like if you might see 8 feet squared, okay, or so on, that's an exponent right there. So when you see that, that's squared. When you're seeing an exponent of 2. Or if you're talking about volume, let's use a variable y cubed, or y to the 3rd power. That means cubed. Those are just some common exponents that you're going to be using throughout this year, especially when you get to area and volume. So here we gave an example earlier. Let's write another example. I'm going to write a base of 10 to the 4th power. I want you to start with, how would I write that in expanded form? Expanded form is what we did here with 2 to the 3rd power. Think, my base is 10, so that's the only factor I should use. My exponent is 4. That's how many times I should see my base. And you're always multiplying, because it's a way of showing repeated multiplication. Alright, pretty simple. So here we got exponential form, here we got expanded form. And if we wanted to go one step further, standard form, that's when we actually do the multiplication. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So this would be standard form. So all 3 of these are the same thing. Let's get into some non-examples, because I feel sometimes it's important to think of what it shouldn't look like. That way we don't make those errors. So let's go back to our original, 2 to the 3rd power. Well, a big error that students often make, especially who are new to exponents, they'll just take your base and your exponent and multiply. Okay, and that is not what you do with exponents. Or if you got 10 squared, they'll want to just multiply 10 times 2. Okay, so it's not just a matter of multiplying the base and the exponent. The base is how many times, or the base is the number that will repeat. The exponent tells you how many times. Alright, so now you're going to get a little bit of practice. We're going to do one example from each section. If at any point you need a pause to work on that section, feel free to do so. Or you could just watch the rest of the video and then do all 3 sections of your practice sheet. Okay, so this first section This is actually when to rewrite each expression with exponents. So here we're kind of going backwards. So here, if you look in the example, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 7s. So 7 is your base, 4 is your number of exponents. So let's do A together. Well, I know that my base is going to be 6, so I'm going to go ahead and write a 6. Now let's count how many times it's being multiplied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 6 to the 5th power. Okay, so you'll be doing that in this section right here. All right, the next section, you're going in reverse. It gives you a number in exponential form, but it wants it in expanded form. So think of expanding, you're pulling it apart. So here you had 5 to the 6th power, so 5 is repeatedly being multiplied 6 times. So here I got 8 to the 4th power, so that'll be my base. I will see 8 4 times. So multiplying each one. That's expanded form. And then finally, this is where your calculator will come in. You're going to practice, rewriting each one in standard form. So for example, this is telling me 5 to the 2nd power, 5 squared, or 5 to the power of 2. That means 5 times 5. And you are actually going to multiply them. 5 times 5, that's 25. Some of these you might use your calculator, but if you don't need it, by all means. Okay, so at this point, you are done with the lesson, so feel free to get the practice problems done. Feel free to watch any parts of this video that you feel you may have missed. Alright guys, good luck.